Show me something.
Hello and welcome back to the Show Me Something podcast. I'm Jacob.
I'm Will.
And I'm Trevor.
And today I showed the boys Attack and Release from 2008, the Black Keys album, the one that came out before Brothers. Brothers was the one that kind of put them on the mainstream map, putting them on MTV and shit like that. It's an album that I've loved for a long time. I used to listen to it all the time in the car when I was in high school and working at Chick-fil-A and stuff like that on my commute. I have the CD in my car still, in my door panel. It's chilling there. It's one of the hard copy CDs I actually own. I fucking love this album so much, and I wanted to bring it to the boys since I figured they probably hadn't listened to this album at the least, because most people have heard some Black Keys songs. So to preface that with this episode, I know, Will, you've listened to some Black Keys, and then Trevor works at 97X, so he has heard it on the radio, their newer stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do you guys think?
Sure. So I can jump in. So I've heard the Black Keys. I have a cousin named Taylor who is also like a really big into music like I am, but we have very divergent tastes where I am pretty well versed in hip hop and jazz. He's very well versed in rock and rock adjacent genres. So back in the day, I would say late high school, early college, whenever he and I would see each other at family functions, we would each like bring our external hard drives and like swap music with each other. And
That's tight.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was the best. I mean, it's wonderful. I learned about a ton of stuff from him. But yeah, he gave me, he was a huge fan of the early Black Keys stuff. So, Chulahoma in particular, which is their, album that's a tribute to Junior Kimbrough, famous blues artist, and also Thick Freakness and Rubber Factory. So I've heard a lot of that. I also am familiar with Brothers, listened to that a bunch when it came out. But I had never heard Attack and Release, which is the first album they made with Danger Mouse, who I'm familiar with because he's made a lot of rap music, as well as an album with the lead singer from The Shins. So I was pleasantly surprised to learn this was the first album they made with him.
Yeah, it was their first studio album.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Like,
I mean, it's like their fourth.
rock.
It's like their fourth album overall, I think, right, or fifth maybe,
Yeah.
and nothing before had been
also,
done.
I do want to say that if you guys haven't heard of the Black Keys, they're like it's like alt rock / blues rock / garage rock
Yeah.
type music, to give you a sense of what it is.
Yeah, friends from Akron, Ohio. They started, I think the first album was what, like 2002?
Yeah, it was very early.
Early
It was,
2000s.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah, the big come up.
Yeah. So, so this album, it's fun. It's a fun album. I've listened to it probably like 8 or 10 times. It's got a lot of great riffs, which they're obviously known for. They've got some really catchy guitar playing. It's two guys, right? Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney are the two, and one plays
the
guitar
two
and
guys.
sings, and one guy plays the drums. It sounds like there's way more members of the band. I mean, they do a lot of really cool work with overdubbing and, lead and rhythm and background guitar work. I think Danger Mouse probably has a lot to do with that as well. On this album in particular, there's lots of organs and synths and kind of funky stuff that we can get into once we start talking about track by track.
There's like that weird pan flute.
Yeah, dude, I have the pan flute written down as a note. But yeah, it's really good. It didn't quite grab me right off the bat, but I've been sitting with it for the week, and I really dig it. There's some really, really good songs on here. It's not really the type of stuff I listen to every day, but it's definitely got some real good energy, some good melody. Mm-hmm. I've never really been huge on their lyrical content. It doesn't really grab me at all. I think, you're going to come here a lot more for like the vibe, the riff. But yeah, it's super crunchy, dirty. There's some real good like stomping tracks. There's some good car tracks, and there's some good slower introspective stuff as well. So, I'm glad to have heard it. I would say probably I'm at like a 7.5 out of 10, pushing an 8, given what track I'm on. So. That's me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I definitely understand the lyric aspect of what you were talking about, because like especially on this album, there's not a whole lot of like in the specific songs. There's not a whole lot of diversity of what they're saying.
Yeah,
like they repeat themselves a lot, especially in this album.
Mm-hmm.
I was finding when I was listening to it again, because I hadn't actually listened to the album, and it had been a while since I listened to the full album all the way through. Because I have some songs specifically in playlists, but yeah, I was like, there is a lot of repeating themselves in the tracks that don't dig very deep. But yeah, go ahead, Trevor.
All right. Well, I did really dig this, actually. This was pretty cool. This was a little more my speed than the other albums we've done. No offense to Will.
Did I do it?
Just
fuck, I can't wait to hear the rating, brother.
I did. I liked this. It took me a little bit maybe to get in. I think the first song didn't quite grab me, but then once we started moving on, there was a couple more that felt a little more rocky. That's not the way to describe that, but it felt a little bit more like rock and stuff.
Rocky,
which is kind of more old school rock is kind of, and country is where I sit most of the time.
Yeah.
So some of the songs really made me feel some of those things. A couple of the songs I really dug. Some of them I was like, okay, yeah. And I did feel like I got somewhat of a story out of this album. It's a very loose one, but I did feel like I got something of a story out of it. I really liked it. Thought it was pretty cool. The weird choice of instruments in some of the songs was really interesting, to just have them come kind of out of nowhere. And then even within the same song, just not come back again. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I dig that. Overall, I enjoyed it. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. A couple of the songs I might actually listen to again, on my own, but...
Your highest music rating. I did it. I'm going to dab on that. Boom.
I did. I liked it.
It
was pretty cool.
I got Trevor to go above a 5 on a music album.
Oh, yeah.
What did I give the other ones? Did I really give 5?
I don't know what you gave Helpless Blues, actually, but I'm pretty sure
I gave a 6 at one point.
Mad Villainy a 5. I'm pretty sure you gave Mad Villainy a 5.
And what about
disrespectful?
Who told you to think?
I feel bad about that now.
Too, I think.
That was probably also a 5. I think he gave him the same rating from what I remember.
I'll briefly say
that was like a year ago.
Yeah,
that was a
I'll
while.
briefly say because he got brought up, but rest in peace, MF Doom, one of my favorite rappers of all time,
for sure.
Passed away back in October. Was announced by his wife in December. Just the GOAT, and he's obviously been to the podcast before via me, and he will be here again via me. Anyway, shout out to Trev, 8 out of 10. Broke the record.
Yeah.
It's more my speed. It's just kind of I dug it.
Yeah.
You know.
I do want to say too, with when you were talking about how they use weird sounds and instruments and stuff that they experiment with in the songs, you find that in pretty much all their albums. In songs where they'll do some sort of strange sound, or they'll change up their own sound as a whole, that you haven't really heard before. And I feel like I like it. It makes it keeps the albums more fresh to me every time I listen to them, where I'm not hearing the same exact sound throughout the entire thing, where I'm hearing ebbs and flows to everything. And then also having within the same album tracks that have totally different tempos, and then having them have different messages and everything. It keeps the album so fresh to me, to where I'm able to I listen to them all the time. This one, I didn't even need to continue to listen to it multiple times. Dude, this is all I've listened to for the past 2 weeks is Attack and Release. And then I did listen to Turn Blue a little bit, which is one of their later albums. I've been deep diving back into the Black Keys. It's been fucking great. I've loved it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I went through this 4 times. I think I got through this album.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been holding off because I don't want to tarnish my take on this album with listening to some of the stuff that I'm more familiar with. So I like dabbled a little bit today, dropping back into like Thick Freakness and Rubber Factory with some of the tracks that I love on there. But I didn't. I'm gonna go back to those two, Chulahoma and probably Brothers, after this because I didn't want to come in with. I didn't want to be overly comparative to the stuff that I already know. But it definitely, reminded me how fun they can be.
Brothers is a great one to go back to because it really is a fantastic album. But, I remember because that's pretty much when I got into it, was in 2010 when I was in high school. And I remember the Tighten Up music video coming on MTV, and I was like, who are these guys? I was like, this is great. And then I looked more into it, and I started listening to all their albums, and like I pretty much didn't stop for like a good at least 3 years, like until I was in college and started to listen to more rap than rock. But yeah, I was captivated immediately, and I fucking loved it from the jump. But though it is interesting because the ones that I'm more familiar with is definitely not the ones that you are. Like I've listened to Rubber Factory a good amount of times, but I think I've only listened to Chulahoma like once.
Yeah, Chulahoma fucks.
Because I've listened. Does it slap? Because I might need to give it more listens. Because I've listened to all of them once at the very least, but the ones that I'm more familiar with is like Rubber Factory, Magic Potion, Attack and Release, Brothers, El Camino, and Turn Blue.
Yeah.
And that's still a good amount of albums, but they have so fucking many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's like
I will say, you mentioned that this is the first album they recorded in a professional setting, like in an actual studio.
Yeah.
That's definitely noticeable when you go back to like Thick Freakness in particular. It sounds so dirty and greasy. Like I feel like that cover in particular, which is like someone dipping their fingers into like a tin of grease, is like so perfect for the way the album sounds, because it sounds like someone is playing guitar and then someone just threw a bunch of grease all over the cassette tape. Like it's so gritty and dirty and like tangible. So the sound is very different, quality wise.
That's like the same thing if you listen to their first album. Like The Big Come Up is raw as fuck.
Yeah, that's like, one
that
I haven't heard.
Is like it you can tell that is garage rock.
Yeah.
That is garage rock at its purest.
Yeah, I dig that. For Chulahoma, you asked like if it's good. I think so, but your mileage may vary. It's them doing covers of like a really famous blues musician. My dad is a huge blues fan, like dirty, like Mississippi Delta, like crusty ass blues. Yeah. So I know Junior Kimbrough from him, and I like his music because of that. You know, it's not quite Black Keys music, but they make it their own for sure. But that one's super dirty and gritty as well. So I think it's definitely worth revisiting either way.
They did used to do that a lot in their earlier albums, was like just cover a shitload, like where they didn't want to fill in their own music, they just would cover, which is cool. You know, you can hear their own take on it, but it is nice to listen to like their own music, which is what I like. You know? But I definitely will give Chulahoma a listen because I love their more bluesy songs. Mm-hmm. Like when we start going through our track list, you'll kind of see that because like I pick out the more slow bluesy kind of vibey songs than the like more up-tempo like rock songs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But do we want to jump right into top threes?
Did you give it a score, Cobb?
He didn't.
Oh, I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
All right.
Shit.
I think it's a perfect album. I love every song on it. Like when I was trying to make my top three, I honestly just picked 3 songs that I can remember. Like every time it came on, I would sing along with it in the car. Mm-hmm. Like that's really every song for me. Like I know pretty much all the words to every song. Like when it comes on, I've just listened to it so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I just fucking love it. Like it's got nostalgia for me too, because it brings me back to when I was first starting to create my own music taste in high school, you know, and not just listening to basically whatever my sister downloaded on iTunes. You know, I just love it.
Is this your favorite album by them?
That's a real tough call. I think it's very close. I think it might be Brothers is my favorite, but it's definitely up there. It's very close.
Okay. Cool. Before we jump
right.
into top threes, I want a quick shout out to an album I completely forgot about, and I'm curious if you've heard it, Cobb. In 2009, so between this album and Brothers, Dame Dash, who's a famous hip hop label exec, I think for, I think it's Rockefeller, but I could be wrong, made an album, a rap album with the Black Keys as the main instrumentalists. It's called Black Rock. It has Mos Def, a bunch of members of the Wu-Tang Clan, Pharoah Monch.
No, I know what you're talking about. Because when the man, I think it's called The Man with the Iron Fist came out, the movie that
RZA did the score
made,
for.
Yeah, they did a song together, and I know that song off of it. I haven't listened to the album, but I know that song because I saw the movie in theaters with Kirk. Shout out Kirk, you know.
Shout out Kirk.
We had to go see a movie made by the RZA. I mean, we had to.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, that album is great.
Yeah.
In college, I mean, it's still active, but I had a blog that I had a little music blog that I ran called On the Vista, and it was named off of the first song on that Black Rock album, which is the Black Keys and Mos Def. Completely forgot about the album. I saw it today in their Wikipedia when I was doing some research, and I was like, holy shit, this was a huge thing for me freshman year of college. So, yeah, great album also if you want to check it out. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I might have to.
Quick sidebar. All right, so top threes. Who's first?
You.
I think you do.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
you go.
Fuck. All right. Well, I just hogged a bunch of airtime. All right, cool. So the top three, I think I do definitely have three favorites. Although the order kind of varies depending on my mood, but I'm going to say number one is I Got Mine, the second track.
Great song.
Great.
Absolutely fucking jamming ass song. Like, that's like
It
a really
slaps.
good,
It does.
like the beat, the drums are great, the riff is great. That's like a really good car song.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. And I think it's a really good transition from the first track into that one, because the first track is not at all what I expected when I first listened to this album in terms of the sound.
Yeah.
And then
The first song is like slow, and then they start to jam.
yeah,
and
it just
becomes
fucking
really
rocks. So I got mine number one. Then I would probably say number two is Things Aren't Like They Used to Be, which is the last song.
Yep.
We'll talk about that one probably more in depth, but I'm just a sucker for like a slow, like bluesy, kind of like melancholic closer for an album, which they're actually very good at, and this one is in that
like
mold.
all their albums.
They're so good, yeah. They're just like they have great lead melodies on the guitar. Good.
Yeah, like I've said before, which song is it? One of their songs I've said before. Oh, I think it's These Days.
Yeah.
On Brothers album.
Fucking unbelievable.
That's the song that I want played at my funeral when I die.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's just a fucking great bluesy track.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And even if they're not like the literal last song on the album, they have a lot of good ones towards the end. Like, oh shit, I think it's on Thick Freakness maybe. Yeah, no, the last song of Thick Freakness called "I Cry Alone" is really good as well. And yeah, These Days is just phenomenal. So that would be number two, and then number three, I think I'll say "Remember When" side A. Similar vein,
Yeah.
kind of like slow, melancholic, melodic, really good lead guitar riff, and like the woozy background guitars I really dug. So yeah, that would be top three for me.
Nice.
Any
Great
honorable
top three.
honorable
Very
mentions
great.
or no?
Yeah. No, Oceans and Streams. I'm just a big water theme guy. I love anything with any kind of aquatic theme. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I really
This is
fuck with,
like not expecting that, but cool. All right.
yeah, no, I'm a huge big
yeah.
water energy.
Dude, you would love this song called Ocean Man. That fucking song slaps.
By
dude.
who? By them?
No.
No,
I don't know who
absolutely
it's
not.
by. It's a meme song.
We played it probably like 20
Played it in
times
Key West with Abby.
on the way
Abby hated
down,
it.
in, and on the way back from Key West.
Wait, who is it?
I have
It's a meme
no
song
idea.
that they used to play on Twitch all the time.
Oh,
If you look up
okay.
Ocean Man, it'll come up.
Ocean Man,
All right.
take me by the
What about you,
hand.
Trev?
Yeah, but that one's great.
Okay, so my number one was Strange Times. I don't know.
Great song.
I really dug it. I dug the feel behind it. It kind of, I felt like also, like talking about it, I was like, wow, 2020, right? 20,
These have been strange times.
strange times, man.
The strange times are here.
I really liked it. Number two, I would do I Got Mine. I also loved it. The energy
Nice.
behind that, the rock feel
Fuck
to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's just like, burn it. Oh, so good. And then number three, I put Same Old Thing. It's got that dope, like, pan flute at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was
Great
cool. And I don't know, just the theme behind it, like, everything's kind of the same. No matter what changes, things kind of feel the same.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I liked that. And then my two honorable mentions would be Lies
Nice.
and So He Won't Break. I really like the lyrics on So He Won't
so
Break.
good, yeah.
I really love the lyrics. Like, I almost put So He Won't Break as my number three, but I don't know. Like, the lyrics were almost enough to
I'll
bump.
also say the guitar in that song is fucking great.
Oh, for sure. But the lyrics is what really sold that song for me. I don't
Yeah.
know. I really like the lyrics on that one. It's just powerful and cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's my top three and
Um,
honorable mentions.
Both you guys had fantastic top threes, mostly because I think every song is a perfect song. So my top three is a little bit different, though. Actually, I had so I had a difficult time with this because I have a clear number one, and then every other song I like pretty much the same. More or less. I mean, it's iffy on that, but still. So my clear number one is All You Ever Wanted, the first track. I love that song. It's
a good
really,
song.
really, really love that song. For me, it's an excellent way to intro the album. Just going slow and bluesy start to it. It puts me in a great state of mind listening to the Black Keys. That song is like the Black Keys to me. Like, that song is like, that is who they are as a band. It's like slow and bluesy, and then it intros into the rest of the album at the end where they're like, let's fucking tempo this up, we're here to rock. You know, it's like, it is just a fucking great song.
Interesting.
That I could listen to over and over again. I love it. Number two is Lies for me. I think it's a great song. And then number three is Psychotic Girl because I like it because it's so different. It's a very different track. The sound of it is very weird.
I like the banjo at the start of that one for sure.
Yeah. And but it was super close. I really wanted to put I Got Mine on the list, and I really wanted to put Things Ain't Like They Used to Be on the list as well. But I mean, really, I would put every single song on there, so it's like
Fair enough.
It was like just kind of forcing me to make a top three. But yeah, so
Do we want to run through all the songs kind of real quick and just...
Yeah, we can go through them. Also, I do want to say that I've seen the Black Keys in concert. I saw them when they were on their Turn Blue tour in Orlando. I drove over to Orlando when I was in college with my boy Yash. Shout out Yash, living in fucking Central Asia now, teaching English, doing his thing. Every now and again, you know, get a little Facebook message in the group that I have with him and Kirk. But yeah, it was a great time. It was a fucking excellent concert. Turn Blue is a great album.
Tour?
I recommend that as well. It was a Turn Blue
Sorry,
tour.
I might have missed it. Turn Blue Tour, okay.
Yeah, it was the album that came after El Camino. I think it was like
Okay. 2013?
2014 or something like that. But yeah, it was great. There was a standing ovation, an encore. They came out and played 4 more songs. their performance of Little Black Submarine was fucking amazing. That's like the one song that I like really explicitly remember them playing after they finished the Turn Blue album, obviously. But it was like, it was great. It was a fucking hell of an experience.
That's the best. I miss fucking live music so much, man.
Yeah, same.
Were they like an album, like the newest album type of band, or did they just kind of play the hits, or like throughout all the discog?
They went on it was on their tour for that album, but they didn't front to back it. They played most of the songs on that album, but then they also sprinkled in other songs like hits and then like just random songs that they probably just liked playing.
Cool.
Yeah, it was just a good time. Their encore was all different songs. Their encore was not any of the actual Turn Blue songs. It was like all just like the hits to like get the people
Lit.
what they want.
Yeah. Was it just the two of them, or did they have a touring band?
It was more than just them on stage. It was the two of them up front and center, obviously, but I'm pretty sure there was other people as well.
Yeah, makes sense. You can't do all that overdubbing and background guitar by yourself.
Dude, his guitar live, live
I can
was
imagine.
fucking great, dude. That shit was an experience.
So
I would love to see his pedal collection, like the amount of fucking guitar pedals he
I bet
probably
it's
has.
insane. Dude, Dan is the best, dude. Dan and Pat, they're great.
So I'm gonna put it out in this recording that I'm not a huge like live music fan. Like,
I think you haven't seen
one.
the right music yet.
maybe that's it. But like, I don't know.
How many have you been to? How many concerts have you been to?
Not many.
Kenny Chesney, and that's it.
I've never been to Kenny. We were supposed to go to Kenny Chesney, and then it got canceled because of COVID.
Less than 5, less than 10?
Way less than 5. Maybe like 2 or 3.
What?
And was it people that you chose, or did you go with someone who wanted you to go with them?
Yeah, I didn't choose them.
Okay, so then you can't with any level of...
I will say I was outside of one that I would have probably chosen, which was Heart. And I was outside of the venue, though, for that because I was working. I did see Eddie Money live. That was actually a really cool show. I'm not going to lie. That was a really cool show. I
don't know what that is.
Eddie Money?
I've heard of him. I don't know who that is.
2 Tickets to Paradise?
Oh, okay. Right on.
I was working, and we got to be inside the venue for that one.
Is that not a meme song?
No, that's a real... Eddie Money's a real...
Okay. Right on.
Anyways, that was a really fun show because I was with some friends at work, and so I was in there for free.
I think if you were to choose a concert that you wanted to see, it would change your opinion on concerts.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm like, okay, cool.
Even then, I feel like if you're with the right crowd and you've got enough beer in your system, concerts are a lot of fun, my guy.
You know what? I bet they are at that point. Like,
I've been
honestly,
to concerts where like I didn't know the music until I went there. Well, I would listen to like the music that day in preparation, and then I went, and I had a fucking great time.
That's really interesting, Cobb, because I don't drink or smoke. Well, I don't smoke anymore anyway, but I never drank or smoked for concerts. I always stayed sober.
Really?
Dude. One of the greatest joys in life is to go to the Florida Amphitheater, get a BLL, pregame with some Fireball, and fucking go see some artist you've never heard of.
I always wanted to be sober because I wanted to remember it. Those are all like really important experiences to me.
I remember.
He remembers most of it.
I guess I'm worse at holding my alcohol then.
I didn't drink at the Black Keys concert though. I did not.
I will say I've never
sober and left sober.
I've never drank at a concert, I guess.
Oh, Trevor, you'd love it.
Because
you'd have a blast. Actually,
I was either
we have to.
I was either too young or working. So.
All right. So once the world opens back up, Kyle, we got to find a concert to bring Trevor to. And
we'll go to a great one, and we'll buy $10 tall boy BLLs and fucking cry because of how expensive it is.
Is that is the Black Keys concert your favorite concert of all time, Cobb?
It's pretty close. with that and when I saw Kanye on the Yeezus tour, it would probably be the Kanye concert, because that was like, I mean, he's such like a showman. It was like such an experience, you know, to see Kanye live. Even for the Yeezus tour, which is like not an album people usually look back on and love. It's still a really solid album. It's just an extremely different sound that people aren't used to from Kanye. Because it's like that industrial, like French hip hop, that sound that he was going for, where it's like raw and gritty and like just like
It's fucking
stereo
awful.
noise. It's just like, it was a fucking really fun time, and it was really fun to watch him doing live beats, like when he did Runaway live. That was,
He brought the MPC out.
yeah, that was an experience. He would hit one note and then he ran around stage, just hearing people just like applaud, and like after one single note, and everybody was just screaming the whole time. It was
What?
great.
Why?
That's
Because
that's
you know,
funny
if you know the song, that note is the song. Like,
yeah.
That's wild to me. That's
my
wild.
favorite. My favorite concert is also a Kanye concert. I saw him on the graduation tour for at Madison Square Garden.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
you know, that's like a life-changing experience.
I wish I would have been able to go to the Life of Pablo tour, but I was too poor. I didn't want to buy a ticket. It was too expensive.
I'm still mad that he never released a live album from that tour, because
That's crazy. That tour was a party. Like, that's not fair.
the tour, like, for the graduation album, like, he had a live orchestra play all the songs.
Oh, shit.
So like, it's in like arrangements that you've never heard before, and they were like absolutely fucking mind-blowing. And he also like was on a spaceship on stage like for half of the concert. It was amazing.
What?
I mean, I was lucky enough to grow up in close proximity to New York City, so I had access to a plethora of concerts.
Dude, on the Yeezus tour, Jesus came out on stage and walked up the mountain. He walked up the mountain with a spotlight.
Isn't he an insane
Yeah.
person? Like,
Oh yeah, he's crazy.
He's
but-
been gradually going insane since his mom died in 2009,
which is really sad.
2008.
808s was his breaking
Yeah.
point.
jeez.
But yeah, he's definitely far off the reservation at this point.
I can't wait to
anyway.
show Trevor Kanye, dude.
Damn.
One day.
All right.
You said to show Trev Kanye?
Yeah.
I can't wait either. What do we do? We do
I don't know.
Beautiful
but
Dark Twisted Fantasy?
I assume Trevor wouldn't like it, and then we'd just be shitting on him for an hour.
He's gonna
and a half.
hate it. Yeah, we gotta show him something more palatable.
I mean,
College dropout. Maybe I think he did Graduation. Honestly,
I have
Graduation
heard
probably
some of these albums just because of knowing Jacob in
Yeah, I
college.
would always play him in the car.
That either in
Dude,
the
I would do
car
that.
or what was it? We were in I think we were over at Emily's place, and we were just sitting in a circle in her room for some reason, playing Kanye at one point, and I'm just sitting there like I have no idea
Yeah.
what's going on.
Well, I would
So I
put
was
on
really
music,
drunk.
brother. And I also would do that with Earl Sweatshirt. I used to put on Earl all the time in the car with you because I wanted you to like him, and you wouldn't. You refused.
I vaguely remember the name Earl Sweatshirt, but if you told me I couldn't tell you a song. Like I just couldn't right now.
That makes sense.
So songs, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. I was just
Yeah.
finishing my beer, and I can't see what Will is doing because his camera's fucked. To give you guys a little bit of
Yeah,
behind the
his-
scenes, Will's having some issues with his computer or connection, or maybe both. Oh, he's up. He's standing.
Yeah.
He left the room.
He's standing and he's walking away, but
He
whatever.
left the room.
His
That's so
camera
funny.
has
Right
been
as we're talking about it.
every now and then his camera will just go into like 8 pixels that are just stuttering ridiculously. Or like the top half of his screen will be like 3 pixels. And the bottom half will
It's
be
a
like
really
a clear
insane
image
thing
of
to
him
see.
just like jerking back and forth like did it. Like
Maybe that should be our Instagram post. Is just a screenshot of Will's camera being fucked.
you'd have to catch a screenshot, dude.
I won't be able to do it. I won't remember.
Hit that print screen button.
Actually,
dude.
no. We already have an Instagram post idea. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
That's thrown out of the water. So let's jump right into the first track. All You Ever Wanted. Thoughts, Trevor? Because I didn't get to hear you talk about it at all.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty quiet on these music album, like the music, the music
You liked it
episodes.
this time. I did it right.
I did. For some reason, this song.
I thought you were gonna like it too because I was like, Trevor likes rock enough. He'll like this. He won't hate this album.
I did not.
That's what I was banking. I was like, Trevor, he won't hate it.
No. I was like, my only note I wrote down for this song, All You Ever Wanted, is for some reason I felt nostalgic while listening to it. I've never heard this song before, I don't think. It still, for some reason, brought up that feeling of nostalgia. Like, also, I gotta say, the only song I can think of in my head for, like, beat-wise, I don't even know which song it was, but it's the whichever one does that kind of thing. I've got that rocking in my head. That's the only one that's on repeat in my brain right now. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I would definitely be able to remember it if I wasn't drunk already. But I looked over at the track list and was like, I know the beat. All right, Jake, start saying the song in your head.
Regardless, yeah, my note for this one was like, I don't know why. Like, it was a slower start to an album than I would have expected. So I was expecting, the first time I listened, I was expecting the whole album to be a lot slower, which I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't.
Yeah,
but yeah, it just brought up nostalgia for no reason, and that was weird. Also, welcome back, Will.
That's nice. That's like a good feeling for a song to give you, even though it isn't actually nostalgia. That's like really great to hear. Like,
for sure. No, it was cool. It was very cool and weird. Like, just to listen to this song. Maybe it didn't, like, the first time listening through, I was driving and I just, like, kind of was going. But when I really sat down and listened, I was like, man, this song is just nostalgic. But there's no reason it should be whatsoever.
Because they're a good band.
So that was cool.
Yeah. It's just their sound. I think I would encourage you to listen to some of their other albums, Trevor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might actually do that for these guys because I don't know. This was pretty cool. Do you want me to wait and possibly do another?
What did you put? No, because Will's already listened to a good amount of the albums. I don't think I will do another one. What was your first song? Was your top song? I Got Mine.
No, my top was Strange Times. I Got Mine was number 2. So
okay. I mean, you'd probably like El Camino a lot.
El Camino?
El Camino is more up tempo, and it's like
where's my pen?
You've probably heard some of the songs already, but like.
Yeah. El Camino is when they went like super big commercial.
That was
their sold the rights to everything.
Dude, their album, that whole album was like full of singles. It was like a single machine.
Yeah,
wild.
Like, you've probably heard most of the album because they were all on commercials for like the 2 or 3 years after that.
They were also big played on 97X a shitload. A lot of their songs, but.
All right, I'll have to. I might actually give that a go. But yeah, that was my thought on the first song.
Short,
anyways.
Yeah, for me, All You Ever Wanted is like just a track that like.
I mean, it was your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, like every time. I mean, I put it on even when I'm not listening to the album. If I specifically want to listen to that song, which is a good amount of the time, I don't know. I connect with it so much, like, and every time it's on. I'm like belting as loud as I can every single word. Like,
yeah.
Like I'm just like jamming out in the car, just like listening to this like bluesy track. And it's always the state of mind that I want to like be in at the time. Because I feel like those are always my favorite for the Black Keys is just like their bluesy tracks because I'm always trying to find more music like that. And I think you kind of know that too, Will, because like when I was listening to, what was it, Earl Sweatshirt's one of his newest albums, where all I wanted was to listen to his last track on there when it was just like a jazz, like bluesy jazz track, and then you gave me you sent me like the original track to it.
Oh yeah, Riot, I think, and the original is Hugh Masekela.
What a fucking amazing song. What an absolutely amazing song. I was listening to a 1-minute outro of Riot, and now I get the full jazz instrumental. It's just I don't know. I just love listening to sad and bluesy songs. Like I just love
I gotta bring y'all some fucking jazz.
I would
need to bring you
probably
some
love it
jazz.
depending on what it is, because I'm always trying to find more stuff. I just don't know where to look. You know.
Maybe I'll just leave my MF Doom tribute for a quick coda on this episode and just go for some jazz next.
Bleep that out. No.
Anyway, yeah, all you ever wanted. My notes, my short scribbled notes are not what I expected.
Yeah.
Very slow and not gritty or rocky.
Mm-hmm.
I love the organ and the make sure your shoes are tied when you're working on the streets or something like that. That line threw me off, which kind of brings me into a thing I wanted to touch on, which is not really going to be conducive to our track by track. Or like just
I think
about
it's
tracks
fine.
like.
I think we could pretty much. I mean, we're just jumping around, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, is this album to you, Cobb, more of a breakup album than any of their other albums? It seems like this one is like super melancholy, and a lot of the songs about women feel like it's like we're breaking up. And I say that I had that in my head before I read about the album, which did kind of precede a breakup between. Is Dan the guitarist or the drummer?
He's the guitarist.
So Dan Auerbach and his wife divorced in 2009 between this album and Brothers.
Dude, that makes a lot of sense because I was just
Okay.
I mean, one of the first songs on Brothers is called "Next Girl."
Yeah.
And it's like an up tempo song. My next girl, yeah. It's like
So that was my
And there was like I didn't know. Go ahead, Trev.
Okay, yeah. So that was my whole story that I felt like I got from this album was like the different stages of going through like a breakup, where it was like, especially like the beginning, it felt more happy-ish, like maybe still like a good point in a relationship, roughly. Then as it goes down, it feels
I think barely. If you want to really dig
Barely.
into it, it's like barely. It's because like
barely,
like
but still,
maybe with "I Got Mine," but then after that, it's like no way,
Yeah.
no way.
but then like the middle is very like sad and melancholy, and I still feel like a couple of times at the end of the album, a couple of the songs there felt still a little sad, but more, I don't want to say hopeful,
Yeah.
but just like moving forward from it, I guess, if that makes sense. Like
I don't. Yeah, for sure.
the
I mean, the last song is literally called "Things Aren't Like They Used to Be."
yeah, for sure. And but I don't know, some of them it's just, it felt like they like the whole thing felt roughly like, yeah, like you said, like a breakup and moving forward through a breakup and stuff like that. And that it's really cool that you said that, because that's exactly what my whole thought on this whole album was too. So I guess we're
Yeah,
not totally
that's
wrong.
great. I meant to circle back to ask. Yeah, I meant to circle back to ask about that story that you had been hearing, and I'm glad that it aligns with what I was feeling too. I mean, it definitely, like there's a song called "Psychotic Girl." There's a song called "Lies." There's a song called "So He Won't Break." I mean, there's like a lot of little hints, even just in the track listing alone, that kind of hint towards some type of emotional strife. Whether or not it's relational, it doesn't necessarily come through. But with the knowledge that they did divorce between this album and the next, makes it kind of feel like a breakup album.
Yeah, for sure.
Even without that knowledge, I think it feels like a breakup album. So
Yeah, I didn't have
that's
that knowledge.
cool that we
I
both
did
picked up on that.
I did zero research for this. I just listened to the songs, took some notes. Honestly, my notes I took while I was driving to work. Like, I had the notebook on the middle console and was just scratching like stuff down as it came to me, like as I was listening. And so, like, it's
That's
really
fair.
cool.
I mean, I did the same thing.
Yeah, that it came through while we're not really like without the research and with the research. Like, it kind of matches up, and that's nice.
Agree. Agree. Yeah, my first note was breakup album ? So, yeah, I dug. Even though they're not the most lyrical band. You're not like coming for the lyrics necessarily. I'm glad that there is kind of a common thread to pick up on for people who aren't as familiar with them. I also found it interesting that they kind of like broke up the band in between this album and Brothers, because apparently the drummer hated the guitarist's wife and like didn't
Damn.
like didn't like her from the jump, didn't want to be around her, and that made the guitarist like fall out of favor with the drummer, because he was like, how are you gonna treat my wife like this? But then they ended up getting divorced, and then obviously they came back together for another 10 years of music.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool too. They like went off and did side projects in between this one and Brothers.
Yeah.
And
like I know Dan
despite
has
their
some solo albums.
yeah, and then Pat made like a band called Drummers, I think, and he was like he played bass guitar in the band.
Oh yeah, that I have not listened to. I've listened to Dan's a little bit of his stuff, but
Yeah.
I didn't know
Also,
Pat did stuff.
I forgot to mention this up top, but this album originally came about as Danger Mouse was making an album with Ike Turner and wanted the Black Keys to play background music on a few of the songs, and then Ike Turner died, and then they decided, let's just use these as a framework for our own album with you producing the album for us. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't really know Ike Turner's music. I don't know much about
neither.
Ike Turner beyond him being married to Tina Turner and then being very abusive towards each other and doing lots of cocaine. But
Shit.
this
Wow, okay.
I feel like that's a really interesting tidbit about this album that I was surprised to see on Wikipedia.
Huh. I have no idea who this person is.
I know who Tina Turner is.
I know Tina
I don't
Turner,
like her.
yeah.
Yeah, her husband. They had like a famously like really abusive relationship,
Damn.
both with
Would
each
not
other and with cocaine.
Would not expect that. Well, okay, the cocaine I could kind of see, but the with each other I couldn't. I wouldn't really see that with Tina Turner. She seems like a no nonsense, like at times kind of person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, they
Like,
have like a famously contentious relationship. I don't know much about it, but I know enough to know that it was
wild.
no bueno. Anyway,
Damn.
I keep getting us like way off track in terms of this album. What other songs do we want to talk about? Do we have anything we want to touch on?
I got mine was on a bunch of yours, right?
Yes, I got mine.
Yeah, I got mine fucking stomps.
It was really good. It was just like, is that
I
the
would
one?
say like that's like the one on the album out of all of them that like really slaps.
Is that the one
it's,
that
like,
I have stuck in my
up-tempo
head, Jacob?
Classic rock.
Is that not the one that's in my
Sing
head?
it for me again.
Sing it.
That's all I got.
Maybe.
I can't remember. I'm too drunk.
No,
that's Strange Times, isn't it? Hold on.
Yeah, that's Strange Times. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Strange Times, which is my number one. So hence why it's stuck in my head. But I got mine is really good though. I really liked it. It was nice rocky. Like I keep saying rocky.
Yeah.
Nice rock kind of song. I dug it. I dug that.
It
was
is
cool.
rocky though. Don't second guess yourself.
Is rocky okay?
I
Is
didn't
that
mention
a
this.
correct term?
Yeah,
know.
that's a term.
Rocky's
That's an
okay.
adjective.
Rocky's
I hear
totally
Rocky,
fine.
like I say it, and then as soon as I say it, I immediately think of Sylvester Stallone. So like,
No, because we say bluesy, we say synthy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just E to the descriptor.
yeah, I guess.
I didn't mention this up top, but "Psychotic Girl" is my least favorite song, like by far.
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah, I kind of hate it.
How come? Why?
I don't know. Maybe
Do you
it's
hate
just,
banjo?
your typical. The banjo's cool, but I don't know. I just like calling a woman psychotic is just no good to me. It just like throws the whole song off for me. The lyrical content of it. Yeah, I don't like that or Lies. That's like the low point of the
Oh
album
wow!
for me. I
Both
think
of the
it
songs
gets
that
a
I put
little
on my
stuck.
top list.
I know. I didn't. I neglected to mention it at that point. I'm not really sure why. But for Lies, my notes are werewolf vibe. but also maybe second least favorite. Not a huge fan of the chorus. But "Stone Where My Heart Should Be" is a great line, if a little unoriginal.
It is a really good song.
I put "Die Without Pain" as a cool line.
Yeah,
I kind of
like that part too.
Song. That was cool. I thought it was a heartbreak kind of song. That was my main note on it, was heartbreak.
Yeah. Like for me, I love the lyrics in Lies, and I like when like the chorus part when he breaks it down a little bit. And for Psychotic Girl, I just like how weird it is. I like the how different the song is.
It's got some weird keys going on in the background.
Yeah, like the actual instrument, like the instrumental part of the song is like so strange. And that's what I like a lot about it. But I totally get where you're coming from, where they're not your favorite songs on the album, because they are very strange and not the best subject for Psychotic Girl. I get that. But when you think about his wife being crazy, or we don't know if she was crazy, but she didn't get along with the two dudes.
The drummer hated her, so maybe there's a point there.
And I trust Pat, dude. I trust Pat.
Pat Carney is trustworthy.
Dude, he's a drummer. Drummers are trustworthy.
I liked the banjo at the start of this song, but the first time I heard it, I saw the title come up on the track list, like before I even heard it. And I had higher hopes for this song just because of another song that I kind of like called Pretty Little Psycho, which is a bad song overall, but for some reason I like it, and I don't know why.
I don't know that song.
Yeah, I don't know who it's by even. Like, I could look it up.
What?
And I just like I haven't listened to it in years, and the first time I ever listened.
Sorry, Trev. Finish. I'll jump in.
But for some reason, that was in my mind when I saw the title of that, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I don't know why I was expecting it to be anything like this, very much not in the same genre kind of song. Sure,
is that
maybe
an Anime Girl.
Probably.
Will's showing us a random image.
It's Pretty Little Psycho on Spotify by Marguerite, and it's definitely an upskirt of an anime girl as the cover art.
Well, damn. All right, Trevor. Cool, love it. That's.
Although I will say, pivoting quickly, this makes me think of "I'll Keep You My Dirty Little Secret" by the All American Rejects.
That is a great
slapper
song
from the early 2000s.
That's a good song.
Shout out to that.
All American Rejects, man. They need to put out more content. What did you guys think about Remember When having a side A and B?
Love it.
That was interesting. It was interesting.
It's cool, right?
The first couple of times I wasn't sure what to think about it, and then time 3 and 4 I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm a huge fan of
the
for hip hop
it's so different. It's like
they're so
that's
different
what I was
from
gonna
each
say.
other.
For hip hop, a beat switch is like a very common thing where you're like, you'll have one beat for half the song and then it will kind of like fade out and flip into something different for the second half. So I just kind of treat this as one song with two sides. I love how kind of slow and melodic and beautiful and melancholy the side A is, and then side B is like very much like a foot stomping like rock track.
It speeds up so much, like it just in it straight away. It's just
I feel the difference is very stark.
My notes for this was almost like side A was more of like a morning kind of song, and then side B is closer to like like on the recovery kind of thing.
I like that.
That was my thought on it. I don't know how accurate that. I put question marks beside both of those words. Like I put morning question mark, recovered question mark. But that was my thought. It was like two halves of like maybe like even the same night. Like you're sad for the first half of the night, and then after you're done,
you got a couple whiskeys in you.
You got a couple drinks. You've cried a little bit, or
you're ready to recover. We've all been there.
Or whatever, and then now it's like, no, let's go. I like, no, like we're good. It's fine. Like
your boy comes to you and he's like, no, we're going.
We're gonna go out. We're gonna do stuff, and it's like, all right, I guess. But
and then in commences the people pushing each other around in a mosh pit. It's so intense.
yeah.
The worst.
So I don't know. That was, and like it kind of fits with my thought of like the whole like going through stages of relationship, because I feel like you would get through that morning,
Yeah.
you would have your overly energetic, like, time to move forward period, and then the rest of the album is kind of like you've fallen backwards a little bit. You're not as energetic anymore about it, but you're still trying to move forward, but you're in a more realistic state at that point.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Yeah, I agree with that.
the manic period right after being super sad, where it's like,
Yeah.
no, the happiest I could ever be is right now. And then you move forward from that and it's like, no, not really. I'm still kind of sad, but getting better kind of thing. That was my thought on A and B, was that extreme sad, extreme happy kind of dichotomy, I guess you want to put it that way.
For sure. Any other tracks you guys want to talk about specifically?
I just love the ending.
The last song I got, my note on it is it honestly feels like a couple, like when I was listening to it, it reminded me of some, honestly, some slower modern country songs. Like, I'd have to listen to it again, but I want to say a Miranda Lambert,
Oh.
but I'm not positive on that. You guys fill for time while I like listen to it real quick, just like the couple of bits of it, just to make sure I'm right.
Go ahead, Cobb.
I was just gonna say I love this song just because it's a bluesy ending, and any more like blues tracks I can get out of them, I'll take. I don't know. I just dig the vibe of that type of song. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm a sucker for like a kind of a melancholic or moody ending to an album, which I think, as evidenced by Helplessness Blues, that album ends on like a super melancholic note, with Blue Spotted Tail, in so much as it literally cuts off in like the middle of a verse, of a bar.
I still listen to that song every now and again. Blue Spotted Tail.
Yeah, it's a slapper, dude. Have you heard that new album yet?
No. No.
Okay.
To get everybody up to date, I did listen to Milo's new album. I guess under Rap Ferreira, not under Milo. But I did listen to it, and Will's listened to it way more times than I have. But I have not listened to the new Helplessness Blues, or the new Fleet Foxes album. Sorry.
Yeah, Rap Ferreira's new album, Bob's Son, came out New Year's Day. January 1st,
what a weird album.
21. It's super weird.
Give me Bob's Son.
Kind of...
Do Bob's Son. Bob's Son.
Play Bob's
Son. Hey, play Bob's Son.
So
that's the whole intro. It's like a 3-minute intro.
I'm just
album,
that. It's a very interesting album. Trevor would fucking hate it.
Probably. I don't know. There's definitely, okay, so it's not what I thought, but there's definitely a modern country song that sounds almost identical to things that ain't like they used to be.
Well, they stole it from
They probably did. I mean, obviously, because it's from like, what, 20... What year is this from?
This is 2008, I think.
2008? So, like, they definitely stole it, but it sounds very similar. It's like a male country singer. I can't think of what it is, but that's what the vibe I got, though, because that's mostly what I used to listen to. I got Spotify Premium finally. You guys would be happy to know.
Thank God. Trevor, hopefully you're now throwing yourself into culture. You're not just listening to country music.
I mean, not really, because all I listen to is my playlist titled My Weird Stuff. So it's not any
dabble out of that. I would honestly dabble out of that.
It's not much better than what it was before.
God damn it.
A lot of KDA.
I'm happy you took the step. And got Spotify Premium, because that's a big move.
I got 3 free months, so I was like, might as well. And then
we didn't even fucking pay for it. You got a free try.
Once it runs out, then I am gonna pay for it once it runs out, because
you have to. Fine. That's how they got me.
Upon getting it, I've realized how nice it is not to have a limited number of skips.
Oh yeah,
Can
when you're in
you-
the car,
and
Spotify
no ads.
Mobile is impossible without premium. It's like the worst experience.
It's so bad.
They make it
Can
bad in
you-
order for you to get it.
Trevor, I think that you should, in one of our future episodes, you should just bring your Discover Weekly playlist for a random week and just let us see what it is.
My Discover Weekly?
Because do you know what that is?
Not really, but I could look at it. It's probably going to be weird right now because of the Black
based
Keys
on
stuff.
Every Monday, Spotify makes a playlist for you based on what you've been listening to of stuff that you haven't listened to on the app before. So you may know it, but more often than not, you won't. And it's like 25, I think, songs of new stuff to show you based on your taste.
It's only on Mondays?
No, the playlist is available throughout the whole week. It's just updates on a Monday. If you go to browse and then go to the hit the search tab and go to Made for You.
Made for You.
And then Discover Weekly should be in there.
I got Podcast Some More, Uniquely Yours, Daily Mixes, Discover
You're in the right
Weekly.
place.
All right, I got
There
it.
you go.
All right. You want me to run through this real quick? Let's just
Give us the highlights.
All right, we got Devil Trigger, which I know that song. I've listened to that song. That's
Never heard of
the main theme for Devil May Cry 5. Sunday, which is from Resident Evil 2. Weird. Pop Stars versus Megalovania by DJ Cutman. I have no idea.
DJ Cunt.
DJ.
Cutman.
So far, this sounds like it's not even music.
Is it going to focus?
It's just video game soundtracks. Yeah.
A
DJ
lot
Cunt.
of it is
Nonsense.
Bad Apples, the cyborg fights from One Punch Man. The only thing they fear is you. I think that's like a remix of like a Doom soundtrack thing.
Man, one day
All right.
me and Will will
I take it
have
back.
showed you enough music to where
Awaken?
hopefully
What is that?
you will just
We can
listen
impact
to
his
normal
Discover
music.
Weekly.
You'll just listen to normal music and not just anime and video game soundtracks. Like, what is that?
We did enough. We did enough to impact his like Spotify end of year, didn't we? Didn't
I don't know
wasn't it
how
all
he
rap?
didn't post that. I wish you would have posted it. It would have
Yeah.
been so good.
That was the best.
Arbor
Wow.
Voice
Spotify
Yeah, I got-
Weekly was all Milo, MF Doom, and Fleet Foxes.
I got Toss a
like my
Coin
wet
to Your
dream.
Witcher on here. Toss a Coin to Your Witcher's on here.
Oh my god! All right,
But yeah,
that sounds like
do you
a
guys
pretty
have
good place to
any
end.
final thoughts on Attack and Release?
No, it's a
I liked
beautiful
it.
album.
I'm
You should listen to it. It's fun.
I might actually add either Strange Times or I Got Mine to my Weird Stuff playlist, which is my general
Nice.
music playlist. To be fair, my general music playlist does have stuff like Creedence Clearwater Revival, like
Yeah.
Fortunate Son
Music.
and
Actual music.
John Denver is on there too.
Keeping it
Nice.
current.
Dude, I like what I like. You know,
Keeping it
I don't. I like what I like. But
Yeah,
this
no, it's
this was
fair.
a cool album. I'm really glad you brought it. I think it's my favorite album so far. Sorry, Will.
That's
Hell yeah.
completely okay.
I'm glad you guys liked it. Obviously, it's one of my favorite albums. It was really fun to listen to it again, over and over again this past couple of weeks as we've been in preparing. And I'm probably going to continue to listen to more Black Keys albums, but now I'll be able to diversify. I'm going to listen to the other ones.
Nice.
After I've
So-
listened to this on repeat. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. And
Next
we'll catch
week,
you guys for the
well,
next
next week we
pod.
got Will coming back around because
Will's coming back around
getting things back in order again after the Christmas.
Back on
snafu.
track. Back on track.
after the special.
Who knows what I'll bring?
Who knows? It's a mystery for everyone.
Peace out, guys.
All right, bye
Bye.
everyone.